Welcome to the Lindsay and Tony podcast, where we talk about spirituality, business, and life experiences.
In this podcast, we're bringing our private conversations to you.
We believe that it's through discussion, action, and reflection that true change occurs.
Hi everybody, welcome to episode 92, Lindsay and Tony's top insight from 2019. In this episode, we're going to share our number one insight each and lessons that can help you and help ourselves in the new year by applying what we learn from each insight. I hope everybody enjoys the show.
Hi guys, welcome back. We're so excited that you're here. Today's episode is all about our top insight for 2019. So Tony and I are both going to share our insights and what we think about our reflections of 2019, because I think that's important to reflect on your month, your year, and really thinking about those things is so important, don't you think?
It's very important because of the fact that one insight can change your entire life.
That's true.
And every single time, it's always that one insight to where that one moment to where you're just like, I'm making a new decision right now. Mm-hmm. I'm living my life differently, and this is how it's going to be. So I think it's so valuable to reflect on your past year, on your past month, on your past day, and figure out what is my most valuable insight.
That's so true.
So that's what we're going to do on this episode, is tell you our most valuable insight from this year.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to? Do you want me to go first? It's fine. Okay.
Okay, you go first.
All right. So my most valuable insight is the power behind being vulnerable with self-expression and communication. I think that's been a tough one for me this year. Maybe, I don't know if the word tough makes sense, but I've thought about it a lot, and I've actually made more of an effort the past couple of years, but especially this year, with being vulnerable and sharing more stories, even with my students, whether it's my business students or my mediumship students, and really sharing stuff that really hurt me in the past. And I've gotten responses that it's actually helped them, and it's beneficial because they know that things aren't always going to be perfect. And I notice the healing within myself and my heart opening up even more the more that I share and the more vulnerable that I am. There's more to that too.
There is more to it. So I'm curious, when was a moment this year to where it sparked that for you? I know there's probably several.
I think I felt something probably before January, that I felt like something was missing when I was speaking. And I really enjoyed hearing other people's stories of them like really sharing their truth. And I'm like, something's missing. Like, I feel like I want to open up my heart even more. And I feel like you actually helped me with that because you're really highly emotional and sensitive. And I felt like I wasn't like that. And I'm like, I want to be more of that and share my heart more. So that helped me. So it's almost like I saw other people doing it. And I'm like, that's the thing that I'm missing. It feels uncomfortable for me. So it made me strive to do more of that. So I shared with students just different struggles that I had with resistance when it came to, uncovering this ability to tune into mediumship, but also when it came to the business aspect too, and the resistance I received from other outsiders too, and close people.
I love that.
So it helped me, and I feel like it did something where it almost got addicting to share. Because once you open up one portal in your heart, it opens up other areas too. And it even made more sense in my relationships with friends. When something hurt me, I've always been really good about sharing my truth and sharing in the moment, but really getting deep down in there and talking about it, even when it's uncomfortable, getting to the root of things, that has been something that's come up.
And that goes perfectly with my one insight from this year.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And it's human connection. And what I found was exactly what Lindsay was just saying. The more vulnerable that you are, the more you open up to people around you, whether you're saying things that may come off as negative or positive, you're not really judging that. You're just letting it flow. Like during those tough conversations you might have to have with your friends or family, I found that that's when we're most connected. Mm-hmm. And I might have read that before in the past. I might have heard it in videos. This year has really, really helped me to hone in on this and really realize that if I want to connect at a deep level with anybody that I'm around, I have to just say what is coming out of my heart and my soul. And if you have a past with that particular person, sometimes you got to revisit the past and you have to say things that you wanted to say to that person in the past, but you didn't say it. Because I feel like if we allow things to go unsaid and if we allow ourselves not to be vulnerable and not to have those tough conversations, well, when you're around those particular people, there's going to be like a cloud. There's going to be like this thickness that's between you two that you could block out, and that's okay. But it's going to stop you from really connecting deeply at that deepest level.
That's so true.
And I'll go back to Lindsay, to your retreat. I feel like that opened up something for me back in April that still continues to open up till this day, 5 months, 7 months later. And I think that was huge because at that retreat, we all connected at the deepest level because we had permission just to like say everything that was on our heart, to be ourselves 100%. And everybody that was at that retreat, including you, we all knew that we allowed spirit to come in. And when I say spirit, I'm talking about the glue that connects us all together. And that's just one example. And there's so many other examples from this year to where when I was most vulnerable, that's when spirit came into my life and helped me to connect with whoever I was around. And this goes with animals, plants, the entire universe. I feel like we need to open up to receive. And with humans, it's becomes a lot more complicated because it goes back to what you're saying. It's the communication part.
Exactly.
To where we must be all the way raw and authentic with that. And if we're not, it's going to stop us from really connecting deeply.
And human connection is actually part of survival. If a baby didn't have human touch or human connection, the baby would die. So that is so important when it comes to just surrounding yourself with people and knowing that there's so much inside of us that we need to give. And I feel like the retreat is a perfect example of that, where there was a safe place to, express yourself and grow. And you could see when one person opened up, it was a ripple effect too, with that human connection.
It is, and that's the beautiful part. You understand that, wait, when I'm vulnerable, all of the kids around me, all of the people around me, it's going to give them permission to open up. And when we open up, that's whenever we start to feel fulfilled, because then it's flowing, and then we're allowing spirit to flow, we're flowing, and it's just a magical experience.
It is. And I feel like if you can think of something that maybe it's one of our insights that we shared that's meaningful to you, that you can think about, that, wow, that actually is helpful to me too, share with us below, but also share an insight that you have.
Right, absolutely. Please share. Think of just one insight. Don't complicate it. One to three insights maybe. If it's just one, that's okay. And just share with us below in the comments, or whatever. The Podbean has comments too, right? Or Apple iTunes. And share YouTube, the comments there. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're at. Share in the comments and open up for us and share your insight, because we're hoping that it could help a lot of people, just how us sharing our insights will help a lot of people. And I want to say that it's one thing to really look at your insight and to soak it in. It's another to take all of that information and to think about, wait, how can I apply this more in 2020 or in the next year that's coming? And I want to go ahead and say that I'm going to give myself permission to be vulnerable with no matter who I'm around, whether it's people in line at the post office or at the grocery store. Just allow myself that space to connect deeply with whoever I'm around. I feel like it's easy to shut down in certain moments because that's your own sacred time, and I feel like we need that sacred time, but what we need just as much is that deep connection, that deep human connection. So I'm going to make an attempt more to be open in situations to where I wasn't open before, and then counter that by having more alone time if I need to, in my spare time, having more alone time. That way I can show up powerfully and have that deep connection, because I understand how vital it is for fulfillment, and we all want that fulfillment.
We do.
You could go and you could make millions of dollars, you could have everything else on this one dimension out here, but if you're not tapping into that other dimension, that spirit, you're not allowing that to flow, that connection, you're going to be left sad. You're going to be left unfulfilled. And
that's true. That's so true. So my intention for 2020 is to use what I reflected on in 2019 and get to a whole new level of vulnerability, and also consistency with sharing more. So that's something that I will put out there. So, and I'm open to receive whatever else the insights are that you've learned, because we can learn from you too. So we hope you guys enjoy this episode, and we cannot wait to see you for the new year.
Have a great year, everybody.
We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. If you liked it, leave a 5-star review on iTunes, and remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel too.
If you can think of anyone else that would love this episode, share it with them right now on social media or email. And remember, getting results is a process of learning, applying, and reflecting. Stay consistent and continue to grow every day.